So, today will be an excellent day for learning. It's been very humid here because of that tropical depression or whatever we had going on. And the pellets, when they stay humid for a while, can expand. And I'm fairly certain that the auger has the pellets expanded into it. Now, I could honestly wait for a little while. It'll probably dry out and then it'll run it through as a powder. But right now, it just shut off. I turned it on, that's when I figured out the problem. So I'm gonna try and start taking this apart little bit by little bit to see where I can get to clean it. So this is a problem that you have. There's too much humidity and anything that's in that auger tube could expand. Now, as you can see, this is on there, it's pretty dry, but as you start digging down, when you get that powder like that, that's when it's become too wet. So I gotta get some of that out. All these good dogs are upset because the grill ain't working. So as you can see, all that caked in there pretty good. So I'm gonna start working that out on this side and start working it out on that side. And hopefully we can get everything dislodged. I'm not too worried about it. But if not, I mean, this thing's not exactly a rocket engine. It could easily be taken apart. But we'll see how far we can get without doing that. Grilling with the good dogs, maintenance day. So I'm gonna tell you how I think this is gonna go, and then I'm gonna try it. We got 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's some underneath. I'm gonna check here in a minute. But I'm assuming this assembly here is going to come out along this axis here with the drive, with the auger drive in there. So we'll see how that works out. I'll see what's on the bottom, but yeah. This looks like it has a tack weld on it somewhere in there. So I don't know if that's gonna come off. There's the good dogs. Hey, y'all stop looking at it. So I got something on the ground. It's unplugged. I'll start taking out these screws. Just want to show you that you gotta take some precautionary measures around y'all. So just so y'all are aware, there's like 8 screws on the bottom that hold on a plate that has a lip. Comes around it right there. Let me take off this plate. Should pull off right there. See if I get better. Yeah, there's that lip. The support of the good dogs here. Good dogs and Coozins. Grilling with them good dogs. All right, everyone knows there's always that one screw in the bunch that makes you take out the drill. I don't want any of y'all to think that Pit Boss makes a bad product. They definitely don't. I don't take the best care of the grill. I don't have a cover for it. And we do live in a very humid area. Yeah, I mean, this was bound to happen. That's all it is. A little bit of maintenance. Nothing that a super genius, extraordinary chef like myself can't fix. That's all it is. That's all it is, dogs. Get back to grilling in no time. Okay, so I put this one screw back in when I was doing all that. So it's technically, it's not gonna come loose. So I'm gonna take this screw out. And I believe it should pull out. I'm going to double check everything here in a minute. Make sure that's going to be the case. Wipe away some of those burrs that I've made drilling out that screw. And yeah, just double check it. So what you can see from this angle is that this is the auger box here. Okay, you can see it's so good and clogged up. But that's definitely a tack weld right there to this plate here, which has 4 screws that go inside the barrel. And we can see about unscrewing them and take this plate off. That being the case, we don't really need this off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these 4 screws back on, not the bottom plate, so I can have this come out as one unit. And then once it's on the ground, I'll probably take them back off so I can break it open a little bit more. But we're going to get it to where we slide that whole square assembly out of the grill. So if you were starting this from scratch, I would start with those 4 screws on the inside. You can kind of see them. There's one on the other side, and then they're underneath here. So we'll get those here in a minute. So I took the first upper one out. It's a Phillips head, but it is also, looks like a 1/4 20, so I'm going to call that a 7/16, maybe a 3/8. We got 4 more of those. I'm going to do that corner over there, that upper corner last. So the next 2 is going to be those 2. That will be the last one. I'll break it to loosen it, then do these 2, and then that'll be the last one. Grill the good dogs. Maintenance day. All right, one thing that I need to tell you to do is this temperature probe. Yep. you need to unplug it from in here. Lift it. Unplug it from that wiring. This wiring harness over here. It'll look like that. And you'll probably want to feed it through there. So, because it's gonna want to stay with this stuff when the whole thing comes out. Now we can pull this off. I want to remove this housing from the auger. I clipped this wire harness so I can take all these junctions off. You got this double yellow connected to this yellow and these two whites. Double red connecting to this red and two whites. And then you got these. I think these are for the actual heat element in there, connected to the purple and the white. Disconnect all those, and hopefully this housing will separate from the auger. So I wanted to show y'all. It's good and caked in there because it's actually screwing out with it. So, just a matter of cleaning that out and then putting it back together. Had to take the drive motor off. It was just held in there by a little shoulder bolt. You can see it laying right there. Not too hard, but yep. And get back at it. Hopefully the gearbox in there is not damaged. Hopefully this motor still runs and it didn't burn itself out while it was on there. But we'll see. It is what it is, if that's what it is. Alright, let me work on taking that auger out. Look at that nastiness. That's not bad. That's inside there. That's the nastiness. Clean that out and then we'll be back in shape. And we'll put it back together and see if it still works. That's what you can do, right, Klein Bear? Coozin, Chef Baby Geek. If it's dry enough, you can do what I'm doing here. Just attach that thing to the drill and just auger back down. I mean, it is an auger bit at the end of the day. Seems to be working okay for me. I was reversed, sorry. And we're back to square one, guys. All you need to do now is put it back together. So make sure it's going to go back this way when you got the element wires on this side. You're going to have the fan coming on this side kind of towards you. Red wires over here. I'm going to feed them back through there in a minute. Luckily I got their little wire saver on this side of the wire, so it'll go back through. I actually could not find what size this Allen wrench or this socket head cap screw is. So I'm just going to have 2 wrenches and just tighten that back up. And that's just a nylon nut. So it just needs to be tightened to where it's not fall off. It's just acting as a cross pin. Don't forget that stupid little skateboard wheel thing. It goes on there in between these two. There's a hole that you need to put a set screw in right there. It's not actually a set screw. It's actually a little nylon wood screw. Not nylon. Where is it? This little bad boy. Normally I wouldn't show a rebuild, but one of the viewers loves do-it-yourself stuff, so trying to entertain her. Got all the wires connected back from the brain. I forgot to show you all that. We have the one from the power cord connects to those two. There's 1 black and 2 whites. And the ground cord goes underneath that fan. Yeah, so we got everything put back together. We're gonna put this screw and probably one from the other side back on there. And then it's just a matter of mounting this back onto there and then getting that bottom plate on. Yeah, well, we still need to feed the temperature gauge back through here, or right there actually, and then connect it back to here. Another thing I wouldn't normally do is put all the screws back on until I've tested it, but I'm going to this time just because if it doesn't work, it's probably actually broken, like that AC motor that runs the auger is probably busted, or if I messed up one of the wires in the brain. But for these screws here, don't put them on tight. Don't dog them down. I mean, that's the size I got them. 3 fingers on the screwdriver. That's the size I'm putting them. So I gotta wire this thing back through and put that back on. And then put the bottom lid back on. But I probably won't do that until I test it. Make sure all the wires are not caught up on any of the fans. But yeah, we're gonna have to fill it back up with new pellets here in a minute. Now remember, we had to reconnect that, so we had to take this back off. Now that it's reconnected, everything on the inside looks good. Doesn't look like any wires or any fans way. We'll screw this thing back on, and then we'll test it. Okay, order of operations. We're gonna plug it in. We're gonna turn it on. Hopefully the air turns on, which was that other fan you saw on there. Hopefully the auger turns, which you'll be able to see this little piece turn, and then the heating element becomes hot. If we got those three things, then we should consider it working. Oh, I have to put this guard back on here in a minute. All right, moment of truth. Got blue light, nothing short-circuited. Fan works. Probe appears to be registering. Auger is turning. Let's see if we prime it, it'll go faster. Yeah. She's going. It's slow, but I mean, that's how it is. We'll check back in a minute. See that heating element. Give it a second to heat up. Okay, now I put my finger near it. See, it felt pretty warm. Put this on it. And it starts to sizzle. Turn that bad boy up. Real fire behind it. Oh, wait. See some sparks, I think. Oh, yeah, look at that. You see the embers coming off. Alright, guys. Well, I'm going to put some more pellets in it. And I'm going to finally get my dang burgers I wanted to make for lunch. Put everything back together. Gotta get this thing out of here. That'd be dope. Put everything back together. I'm gonna put that bottom plate back on. Put everything back inside of it. Fill it full. Clean off this mess. My beautiful deck. Ridiculous. Grilling with the good dogs. I had to clean a short that was on one of the wires to the heating element. It just kept piling up pellets. But now, as you can see, we're cooking with smoke. This has been another successful grilling with the good dogs, but we haven't grilled anything yet. I'll do myself some burgers and then at some point in time get back to that salmon. Yeah, this episode took a weird turn. I'll let you know how that salmon turns out. Grilling with the good dogs. They're all inside sleeping on the red dragon. Zoom in on that logo. Hell yeah.